So good evening, welcome to tonight's build. Primarily it's going to be issue 98, but there's going to be a couple of other things as well. Last week we talked about a little mod to the bell, which I'm going to do for you today. And a big thank you to Alex Demetrius, who sent another window for me in to cover the one that I cocked up. So as always, I have a co-host, and this co-host is apologetically with us. It's Horlicks.
Hello. How was everyone this evening?
And how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
So much against probably Horlicks' wishes, he's had a little bit of a problem with the old food home delivery, and his food has just arrived like literally 5 minutes ago. So obviously we have this, you know, we all have this sort of ethics about what's good streaming and what's not. Horlicks is hungry. Horlicks has got hot food. So just, if he eats, just forgive him.
I finished anyway, pretty much, nearly.
Shall we do comments, or shall we bring in our guest?
Oh.
We could just
let's just get on with the comments.
Yeah, no, let's bring in the guest. So we have Mr. Surprised himself, Mark's Mods.
Very surprised. Oh, thank you for inviting me.
No problems. No problems. We like you.
Yeah.
So do we need any other reason to invite you?
No, that's true.
That's enough. We like you. So yeah, this is Mark's Mods. For those that watch a lot of YouTube with their eyes shut and don't see other stuff going on, Mark has a wonderful channel. I think this is the first time you've been on my channel, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Right. So Mark, would you like to do an introduction as though no one has ever seen you before?
Okay, so I'm Mark's Mods. I primarily build partwork models, as you can see behind me. I absolutely love them. They are my therapy. And I do a lot on camera, so I literally have one build that comes out every single day of my partwork. So I'm building the Routemaster, Spitfire, Ecto 1, X-Wing, and I've just started building the DeLorean, and I'm also building the Terminator. So I've got 6 builds on the go. So
quiet life for you then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those of you that didn't know Mark's Mods, now you do. So week, what's been happening then in the last week?
Working for me.
Yeah. Well, I've just recovered from a big old toothache, but I'm better now. I have a little change I'm going to be doing to my YouTube schedule. Agora Models, who obviously you know I do the Terminator. Most people are doing the Terminator through Hachette. I've been doing it through Agora, and I've caught up with the packs now as of beginning of November. However, I've had an announcement come through to say that from next month they're going to be supplying every 35 days instead of every 30. So I'm going to be slowing my videos down a little bit for November, because November is a 5-week month. I'm doing 2 a week, but December is a 4-week month. the plan was to go 3, 2, 3, and 2 to get 10 issues out in a month. I'm just going to be going 2 issues a week now. I don't want to catch up and then end up having a gap, and then off I go again and then have another gap. So I'm going to be doing Terminator's going to drop to 2 issues a week, regardless of how many weeks in the month. And then I may get behind with the Agora build, but at least I'd rather have a little bit of content every week than have loads of content and then go, oh, I've overdone it. So, right. So let's do chat for real then.
Okay.
Lovely. So, Gold Star Winner Award today is Andy M with the first comment. Evening all. Looking forward to show tonight.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Love Minis. Hi, glad to see you. And Love Minis, I'm about to report you to the police for theft of this joke. Funny how in the past everyone owned horses and only the rich owned cars. And now everybody has cars and only the rich have horses. Very true. P40F20. Hi all.
Hi, P40. Hi, Love Minis.
So my partner in crime too, Yorkshire Crafter, says hi everyone. Dave's Hobbies. Hello everyone.
Hi, Dave.
Dano Bills. Hello everyone. Looking forward to another good show. Let's hope it is a good show.
Hi, Dano.
And then, oh God. Trouble is, I have to read these. So a pirate walks into a bar with a paper towel on his head. The bartender says, hey, what's with the paper towel? The pirate says, I've got a bounty on my head. The Pillsbury Doughboy died. His funeral will be held at 350 for 20 minutes. So P40F20, the dynamic duo with another Routemaster build. Well, tonight it's the dynamic trio, the terrific trio. How's that? And then Steve Hyson, good evening to everyone. Looking forward to another exciting build.
Hi, Stephen.
Stuart Sullivan, hello. Clapping hands.
Hi, Stuart.
So thoughts and prayers go on to all the married men who spent months telling the wife, I'll do that when I got time. Yes. Dieter Baldo. Sorry, I try and get them right. If I get it wrong, just tell me. So he says hello. And Stephen Owen, another master builder. Hi all and good evening.
Hello, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen.
Right, so I'm going to have to put my keyboard away because I need the space on my desk. I've got a solder iron ready, which I'll warm up in a moment. So shall we won't bring them up on the screen, but let's go through where I've been for the last 3 weeks, and then we can crack on with what we need to do.
Okay.
So we've got issue 86, where I needed to do the windows. So what I will do, if you bear with me one sec, I have got this beautiful window. Oh, I meant to say as well, sorry guys, we have a cat in our house, and quite literally it hates you for a week and wants to kill you, and then suddenly without warning it just absolutely loves you. Yesterday this cat was biting my toe hard for no reason, and then this afternoon it's meowing at my door like there's no tomorrow, and there he is right now, decided to sleep on my bed. So, because it's such a dangerous cat, I think I might be sleeping on the floor tonight. For fear of move. No, I moved that cat once, and it was the most scariest thing I ever did. It slept on my side of the bed, and I tried to move him, and he went at me. So I had to sleep on the other side of the bed, on my bed, and I pulled the covers up, and then he moved further up the bed towards my face. And it scared me so much I had to sleep underneath the cover all night, because I thought there's no way I'm going to sleep with a cat like this far from my face. So yeah, I'm hiding under the covers all night. So yeah, it's just a dangerous cat. So excuse me. I'm going to do a camera change. Right, so this is the issue 86 that I got. And as you see, it was my fault, but the window cracked as I was put it in. And I realized what I'd done, actually. I hadn't quite put the window. It was this framework underneath. Do you see this plastic red bit? That actually wasn't in properly. And that's why it cracked. It created a little apex, is it? So, right. So, let me find, right, Chris Davis has said that he's had his eyes tested yesterday. He's got some designer frames. Well, I've got a designer work mat now. Oh, no. Oh, sorry, I keep getting pop-up adverts. I don't know why. I think I must have clicked on some website once. So I've just got to catch up with these comments because there's a really good one that's quite relevant. So David Bassett, good evening, Penny, Horlicks and Mark.
Oh, David.
Wants your attention. No, he doesn't love me. He just wants a warm spot. Trust me. It is, you know, when they say about two pets on the belly is good, and the third one he goes into murder mode. This one pet on the head is fine. Two, and he will kill you. So Chris Davis had me eyes tested yesterday, having some designer frames. Oops. There we go. And as you know, you know, Penny, I've slept in the bathroom before as my niece took in a stray cat that hated me. I feel for you.
Oh.
And then, so Penny, I could always fix that for you. I had that before till I removed the program. No, I mean, it's something I did, but what makes me laugh is I tried a new browser out. I saw some advert for a browser that claimed if you install this browser, you won't get any pop-ups and everything will be faster. So I installed it, and I'm a little bit old-fashioned. When things are different, I don't like it. So, for example, I don't like Xbox purely because my first console was the PlayStation, and the Xbox buttons are in a funny position. So, right, that head is too small. Now, if I'd have picked up the Xbox before the PlayStation, I would probably hate the PlayStation. And I just didn't like it because the format was different. And then I uninstalled it. And ever since I've uninstalled it, I've been getting pop-up adverts all over the place. Have you gone really quiet?
I'm just watching you, Penny.
Okay. So what I'm doing here, obviously, God, I've started saying obviously. I'll start saying apparently next as well, won't I? So apparently what you do is you undo these screws, and these are coming out quite nicely. Now, has anybody got the issue to hand, 86? Just to say, looking, I can't remember what screws these are.
OP screws, possibly?
Is it OP? Right. This screw is struggling to undo. Oh, it's not struggling to undo.
Oh, no, I haven't got 86, sorry.
All right.
Hang on.
Now, question for you guys. Because I've screwed these in and then unscrewed them, do you think it would be an awful idea to... oh, God, I don't know what it is now. I've got some thread lock. I think these are P screws, aren't they?
They are CM screws.
CM screws.
Yeah.
That's interesting because, oh no, I think they've just picked up muck from what they've been. That's fine. Right, so let's see what Alex Demetrius has sent me. Look at that. That's how well packaged that is. So Alex Demetrius, thank you so much. Not only did you come to the rescue and sent me the whole magazine, you then replaced the part. The only negative I've got I was quite happy to make this out of some perspex that I got. I actually got the perspex the same day that you said that this arrived. And then obviously once I had the part arrive, I then became very lazy and didn't bother making the part. You know, why do I need to? I've got the part. So when installing a piece of perspex, which is extremely brittle, we need to be very careful. Now, I seem to remember when I did this before. Right, let me go through this bit first. What I think happened last time, when you place this plastic piece in, I don't think it was fully in. So that created a little bow around there. So what I was actually doing was screwing that piece of perspex around the corner. So I was in effect trying to stretch it.
Right. Yeah.
And that was what I think caused it to crack.
Right.
And so what you need to do, not just with this stage, but with all stages, you need to make sure this piece is in correctly. Because this is when you're screwing in 3 parts. So that's 2 target parts to double check. So, and also it doesn't matter how far the screw needs to go in or can go in. It's when it's tightened the window. Once the window's tight, even if you've got tons of play left in the screw, don't go any further. Yeah, you've now fixed it. So why do you need to go further? And that is beautiful. That is absolutely perfect. There's no play. There's no play. And I've still got 2 screws to put in yet. So I'm not going to touch these screws any further. What's the point? Yeah? And there is literally, because we're playing with perspex, it's literally just test it a quarter of a screw at a time. Don't need to go boom, 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 because it's so fragile, as I have just found out the hard way. And then with this bit, I'm a little bit wary of it, so I am pushing the perspex down. And once that screw goes in, right. Now, when I did this before, I think I did this with a cigarette packet box, or let's just call this a piece of card. And I seem to remember when I put it in, deliberately I put a piece of card in there like that, so that you can make sure you're not going in too far. So if that holds the card in, that's in enough. If the card falls through, and I don't think any of these will, now that might actually be too tight because I can't get the card in. Yeah?
Yeah.
So there's enough pressure there to hold the card. And you can see that by doing these little extra checks, bang, it's done. Super smashing lovely. Look what you could have won.
Looks awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And obviously with these lights, it's now become more fragile, but I'm looking forward to that. So, like the good person that I am, I'm just going to pop this away somewhere nice and safe. And that, I believe, concludes issue 87.
Cool.
Yeah, it does.
So that was everything. Was it?
No, I've got a wire to do, haven't I? So, right. So the next thing we've got to do is this wire. I've put the cable in. Now, I'm going to need... Right, I'm going to be honest with you here. I'm very limited for space here. Because I've got my solder iron out. Oh, I wonder why I couldn't find that. So I left it on the table. Right, sorry guys, bear with me. Right, so I'm just going to bring my bus down. Just remind me, guys, the roof is detachable, isn't it? The upper deck.
Yes, until you get the frame on.
Okay, roof is not coming off because it's attached to something. Oh, no.
Oh, no, the wiring.
Yeah. No, I trapped the wiring on the top deck. So what I've done is I've actually trapped a wire in between the wall. Oh, that's all right, because the roof wasn't. Yeah.
Penny, what are you doing?
Right, no, it's okay. No, mate. I forgot the roof's got. I take it you were hearing that and not seeing it, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It sounded worse than it was. Right. So when I come get to you with the wiring, bear with me a sec. And I'll explain what happened that sounded worse than it was. Right. Now I've got trailing wires and I'm about to walk past a cat. This could end up in disaster. Right. No, so what happened was I had a wire that was trapped between the upper deck wall and the roof. So I'm not going to fit this in, guys. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to have to switch to other cam. Right, sorry guys. This is one element I didn't quite think through. And then because I'm now going to be using this, what I call body cam, which is now caught up in my trousers.
What are you doing there, Penny?
I'll get the camera.
I think we need to wait till after 9 o'clock for this show.
No, right, I got a pair of trousers on the floor, right next to where I was keeping the camera. And it's got caught up in my belt. So, and I'm trying to...
That sounds painful.
Yeah, it does. It's really plausible. Plausible. Right, sorry guys, I'm just rearranging lighting and stuff. Right, so I'm really sorry, but the camera is going to go really weird now. Right, so right, so this is where we're up to with the wiring. So yeah, I had a wire trapped in the top deck wall between the wall and the roof, and of course I'd forgotten that the roof wasn't actually attached. So is that? Can you guys see all right like that? Is that impossible?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I believe what we're doing is we have this cable K is going to go into the. Oh no! I've already done it. Look.
Yeah.
So I've got this cable is going to. Oh God, which one are we cutting? We're cutting one of these. Any one of these pairs, aren't we?
Yeah.
This is the new extension cable. It doesn't matter which one we cut, but it will affect which bell does which floor.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if I cut this one, the top bell could be done by the bottom, by the far bell. And if I cut this one, the far bell will do the bottom deck. But it doesn't matter which one we cut, does it?
No.
Right.
It's only if you've got a preference to which one you would like. And in which case, you would probably have to... I don't know how you could find out which one does what. I'm guessing the one with the more cable on it is the one nearest the back.
Right. Well, to be fair, my preference is that I want this to work and not embarrass myself on stream. So it doesn't matter which one I cut. So are we all in agreement that of these two wires, I need to cut any pair that I want?
Yes,
Yeah.
but before you start cutting, before you start cutting,
Yeah.
I would take the batteries out in case.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point.
Well, mind you, the wire's broken anyway, but
Yeah, but while I'm here with my soldering iron, I can fix that wire as well. And I may actually be able to do a stronger connection than it was before. So, soldering iron is going on now, and solder wire should be coming out of the drawers. No, please don't tell me. Right, a little bit of flux. Guess what I've done? I've pushed the bus so close up to the drawers, I couldn't access the solder wire. So I had a laugh this week. I say laugh, and I use that term very loosely. So I started to film the issue 0 of the Flying Scotsman. I say that freely now because the coming soon video came out yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had already tried to film issue 0, but I cocked up all of the soldering. I was just absolutely hopeless at it, and I put it down to the fact I used the wrong kind of solder. So I watched more YouTube videos. I bought different solder, and I've got this really low melt solder. Nope, no good. Still no good. So, cut a long story short, this was going to be my testing different pieces, and this was gluing. And gluing is the absolute strongest method. As you can see, like the solder parts totally failed me. So I kind of went to P40F20, and his lovely words he said, and he's basically what he said is that soldering is an art form. It's not, you need to you can't just pick it up and go for it. And I think it's one of those things I'm not going to learn on YouTube. So I think I actually need to meet up with somebody who can teach me how to solder for modeling. So, but we've come up with the idea of JB Marine Weld, and me and you have discussed that before, haven't we, Horlicks?
yeah.
Do you remember ages ago when my 3D printer broke apart?
Yeah.
And it was right. I'm just going to cut this wire. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut it really close to the junction box as well, so there'll be no going back. So, see if I can bring the camera in a little bit closer. The idea of me doing this mod is so that other people can copy me. So, this is the extension cable that we've got, which makes it look an absolute mess. I don't want it so close you can't see anything. Right, so we have got, this is the original K cable, which should go into there, but I've replaced it with this cable. You could basically what you need to do is cut the cable there, but instead of cutting the cable, I'm actually using a micro JST, and the only reason I'm using my own is, as you can see, it's longer. So if I make a mistake, I can cut it back, and I've still got plenty to work with. But you can still work it with this wire. So you'll cut that wire there, and then you cut either one of these two wires. It doesn't matter which one. Actually, I'm thinking if I cut it there, it will make this cable longer, won't it?
Yeah.
And then, because I've got this extension lead, I've got plenty of cable anyway. So, yeah, so cut either of these cables, and then you're going to join whichever cable you've just cut off with this cable that you've just cut off, which we're going to pretend is this one. But I will steal that label. As you can see, so long as the JST's got... Oh, that's a good spot. Can you see what I'm seeing?
No, it's a bit bright.
Okay. That's a bit dark now, isn't it? Right. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, hang on. Is that the polarity?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that won't make any difference because it's a switch we're dealing with.
Yes, but it will make a slight difference. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, but it will. It will and it won't. Right. So what we have got here is these are the cables lined up. And on here, on the original, it goes red and then black. On this one, I don't know if this is wrong, but this goes black and then red. So what we will need to do is we will have to join this red with this black and this black with this red, which is going to confuse things slightly.
Well, you don't have to.
Well, otherwise, if you don't, you'll be connecting negative up with negative.
No, because it's just a push switch. All it does is make a connection, so it doesn't on this particular project mod. It wouldn't make any difference. But if you were dealing with, like an LED or something, then it would. Because all you're doing is bridging a connection between the red and the black to make the bell sound.
I wouldn't feel comfortable connecting that up to red and red. Right, okay, so cutting cables. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that one's cut. And I'm going to cut this one off. And then the little K cable, just going to nick that. And that was famous last words. There we go. So I've just slipped, but obviously I'm using my own cable because of the length. But you can use this cable. So this would have been pre-stripped. So you see you've got the little connections at the top. And what I need to do here, and then also what I'm going to do is I have some shrinky cable stuff. So basically what this is kind of a rubber tubing. And what you do is you slip it over the wire. Then you connect this wire to wherever you're connecting it. Then you pull this back over so that it covers the join. And then you just pop a little bit of heat on it and this shrinks down. So it covers the joint. It's a little bit like using electrical tape, but it's a little bit more permanent and a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
But it's basically, it's not going to come off. So I'm going to do this the simple way. And the simple way is to apply a little bit of solder onto each of the connections. And then what I'll do is I'll bring the connections together, hold them together, touch them with the solder. That should remelt the solder. And then once it goes colder, it should join the wires together. If you've got a helping hand, that will probably help you. So I will just get mine out. I think I could get away with not using one in this case. But if I'm going to try and attempt to tell you to do it properly, the very least I can do is do it properly. And because of the limited space I've got, I'm going to use this simple one. So all I'm going to do, I've got my solder and iron. I've got a little bit of flux paste just to clean the tip, and a little bit of solder, and I know you probably can't see that. A little bit of solder on there. While that's cooling down, I'll do these two wires. Can you see this okay? Can you at least see the concept of what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, little bit of solder onto that wire. Oh, that don't want to come off. Little bit of solder onto this. Lovely. And then this should have cooled. Be careful, guys. This is very, very hot. I know I probably don't need to say that, but, you know, don't come running to me if you burn yourself. So a little bit of solder onto there. So what I've done is those two wires look the same as this. So you can see I'll put a big blob of solder on there.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is holding these together, then touch them with a solder iron. That will then liquefy that. They will then come together as the solder dries. Sorry, I'm up here, aren't I? So I will hold those together, touch them with the solder. As the solder hardens, as it cools down, these two wires should be joined together. So see if I can. Just like that. That's a little bit scruffy, so I'll try and tidy that up. I'm not going to get the heat shrink tubing in there. If my arm's in the way, I'm apologizing, but there isn't going to be much I can do about it. There we go. And then on the other wire, oops, that wasn't anything broken, that was just the wire sprung out of the helping hand. Just bring those together. You can always tell when I'm concentrating, can't you? Because my voice goes whispery. Right. So remember that we put these tubes on first. The reason that we put these on first is that now that we've joined the wires, there's nowhere to get the tubes onto. So all we need to do now is just slip that tube up over the join like that. I will bring the camera in closer because you'll be able to see it. Oh no, I've just broken the camera mount. And I think it's properly broken now. Yeah, I think I need a new one. I got this mount. It didn't break because it's useless. It broke because I think I stood on it. Right, let's just this. Right, so there you can see we've got our two pieces of wire soldered together. So this tube just goes up over there, and you've got a variety of things you can use here. If you're a smoker, you can use a lighter, and all you need to do is just lick it with a flame just over like that. And can you see how that shrinks? And it goes a little bit squidgy. So can you see how that shrunk?
Yeah.
The professional way to do it. And let's have a little play with being professional, shall we? So hot air blower over there like that. Professional job. So wait for that to cool down a little bit, because it will be hot because you've just hit that with a hot item. And then we can plug that in. Oh, also I wanted to solder this other bit in, didn't I? So let's figure out which way round this is first. Oh God, my A wire's in the way now. Right, that's in. So next job then, when I've gone and turn my solder iron off. So this is the wire from the battery box, and I would say, looking at that, there's just not enough solder on it. So I'll have to move my camera back, guys, because otherwise I haven't got enough room to work in. So again, we'll bring the helping hands in. Remember what I say about making the part work for you, not you work for the part. So we need to hold that steady. Otherwise, we're just going to be chasing around the desk for that with a hot solder iron in our hands, which isn't going to be good. And so again, I'm just going to pop a little blob of solder on there, like so. Then I'm going to think about which way round this box is going to go. And so I think I want that wire to go upright like that. So we'll move the wire into the position that we want. Make sure you've got enough space. I'm not going to worry about the camera, guys, because I've got hot iron. We'll just touch that in there like so. Give it a couple of seconds. And I am now convinced that that joint is stronger than it was before. Oops. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Sorry, P40's just said you should put some flux on the wires first. Helps the molten solder to flow rather than blob. Right, but there you go. I think that that's a stronger joint than before. Okay. Should we give it a go?
Yeah.
Right, so 3 batteries. If you can hear a humming in the background, it's my hot air blower. It carries on blowing after I've put it back, simply because it cools it down, which I guess is a safety feature. Right. Okay, something's not working. Yeah, right, that's on. So I know it's working because I have 3 red lights on here and I have 2 flashing lights there. So are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So as you walk in, the first buzzer or the first bell, the one just above the used ticket machine, sounds like this. And the one above the conductor, which I can't see because I can't get my head around that far. There we go. The one in the conductor spot sounds like... Yes!
Well done.
So... And that actually... Now, that da-ding, that's the downstairs, isn't it? And the buzzer is upstairs. Is that correct?
I thought one was said to somebody get off the bus, and the other buzzer was to tell the driver that passengers were on the bus.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought it was.
I thought one was the upstairs, one was the downstairs. But the point is, I've got 2 different buzzers operating off the bells.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm calling that a success.
I'm sure Dave Say would know.
Yes, because if Dave, I've said this before, if Dave Say doesn't know it, it's not worth knowing.
So,
Right, guys, can I take a 2-minute intermission, and then I will try to put my bus away, causing less fuss than I did getting it out. So if you 2 lovely guys...
Okay, so we'll go through a couple of the comments.
Yes.
So P40 F20 says in your trousers. I didn't think this was that sort of show. Laugh out loud.
you need to go further up, Horlicks, to underneath. The last comment read out was Penny's purple pit stop.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Do you need me to come and rescue you, Horlicks?
Oh, hang on. Right.
There.
Chris Davies, yeah, be careful with with that is there's a way you can stop pop-up later without downloading another browser. Yeah, P40F20 says you could thread lock those screws regarding the window, but it really should not be necessary. Alex Demetrius says, hello, Penny, Mark, and Horlicks. Hope you're all well. Penny, always happy to help.
Yes, you really have saved the day today. I'll be honest with you there. Well, you saved the day 2 weeks running.
P40F20 says, in your trousers, I didn't think that was that sort of show. Laugh out loud. Chris Davies says, P40, I was thinking the same. And then P40F20 again says, you should put some flux on the wires, but yeah, you read that one. Help the molten solder flow rather than blob. Stuart Sullivan says, nice job, Penny. Love Minnie says, I had a joke about a grizzly in my car, but I always forget the punchline. Bear with me.
Oh.
And Chris Davis says, one was for the conductor to ring, twice for the bus to pull off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've got basically, I know it's not accurate, but obviously I want to make that bell, the pull cord obsolete. Obviously, if it was a full-size bus, I would want that to be as accurate as possible. With it being 1 to 12 scale, there's no way I don't feel safe having the bell cord. So I've got to, but I want both bells.
Yeah.
So, whereas if you don't do that mod, you've got to choose between one or the other. So
Stephen Owen says bell for downstairs and buzzer for upstairs.
Right.
It's common on buses to have different sound for each decks. And then Dave's hobby says, as Steve says. So
yeah, the way I see it, you've got two bells. One is on the passenger high up, and the other one is on the conductor low down. So I think it makes sense for the first one as you step in to be for the upstairs, and the conductor to be the downstairs. If I've got that correct, I'll be absolutely honest with you and say the way I've cut the wires, it's pure coincidence that I got it the right way round. But I could modify it. I could cut both the wires and then reconnect them the other way round. But I've got two separate bells. Do I really need to do that?
Yeah.
So I'm happy with what I've got. If I've got it the right way round, it's pure coincidence and I'm happy. If I haven't, then so be it. Right, so we are 50 minutes into the show and we are actually starting what we are meant to be starting. So are you ready for issue 98? Do you remember when I didn't know how to read that number on the packet?
Yeah.
And then someone told me how to break down the number, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see that now. That's fantastic.
I believe it was Build with Adrian that explained it.
It probably was Adrian, because Adrian's one of those people that he doesn't say anything for months and months and months, and then when he does say something, it is absolutely 110% spot on and brilliant.
Yeah.
Bit like Christine Say as well, isn't it? Christine Say doesn't say much, but when she does say, you stop and listen, don't you? Right. So, do you want to do your magic then that you normally do every single week?
Okay.
Mr. H?
Right. What view would you like? This one?
Like?
Or this one?
Oh, I don't know. This.
Yeah.
Can I swap? So you can't swap those, can I? So StreamYard, if you are watching, what I'd really like is for where I am to be the squid, to be the magazine, and then where the magazine is, I'd like that to be me. Because you know when you've got people on the screen, you could swap the screens, can't you?
Yeah.
I'd like that to be. Oh, hang on. Is it because it's you? Oh, we'll have to go with this one then. Right. So, do you want to do your Reedy Magic stuff then?
Okay, so issue 98 is the framework and windows for the lower deck. A section of the lower deck framework is supplied and fitted with windows and a handle.
Ooh, and a handle.
So
Let's hang on to what we got. Okay, sorry. I'll shut up now. Mustn't sing, so I don't want to put people off, do I?
no.
Right. Okay, so parts checklist. Now, I will say before we start, this is a lot heavier than it looks. It's only that big, but it feels like it's really heavy. And that's mainly because of this part here, which is very heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when I picked up the bus with all my framework on, and yeah, it's
about to get heavier when you start doing the paneling.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But right, so again, all these parts will start with 98 because we're doing issue 98.
Yeah.
So part A is the left wall framework.
Okay, so that will be this piece, and this is, I think you'll see this again in a couple of weeks, but you know, with a different part, and you've seen bits like this, but this is a rather sturdy. I quite like the clever engineering here. What they've done is they've hollowed it out, so they bent the metal round, so you've got the strength, but because you've got this little channel there, it makes it a little bit lighter than it would be if it was solid.
Yeah.
So that I'm happy with.
Okay.
Yep.
B is a handle.
Is a handle. There is the handle. Now this is made of, I can't believe it's not metal. There's a little bit of cleanup required. Just there. And to be fair, that's probably me being picky. There we go. So one handle, 2 screw holes and a locating peg.
Right.
Yep.
We've got C, which is a window bar.
Right, tell you what, bear with me a sec. It would help if I got my magazine out, so it's not a total surprise when you call the part out. So 90 to part C, again, this is very much, I can't believe it's not metal. Now this feels a little bit bigger than the other window ones, the side windows.
Right, yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think it is.
Right. But that's plastic coated in a kind of a chromy material.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. I can't remember now. Yeah, D.
To go, Horlicks.
Yeah, but I've had that mammoth build since, and that was a
You've got all the time, haven't you?
Yeah. Okay, so D is a window winder.
Just bear with me a sec. I don't want to take. Yeah. Right. So this is the window winder. Again, it looks pretty much the same as the side window winders. Whoops. So that's part D.
Okay.
Yep.
E is a window frame.
Okay, one window frame with lovely little leftover tab that they couldn't cut off, so we have to do it ourselves. This looks like very light blue red plastic. It's very fragile though, as you can see, so don't really want to be pushing that too hard.
Okay. F is a sliding window pane.
Oops. Right. Sliding window pane. Again, there's a little tab on there, which does scare me, I will say. But the actual window pane looks beautiful, as do all the other parts.
Okay.
Yep.
G is a window pane.
Now, I have a very slight look ahead. and I believe this is G.
Yeah.
Because I believe H is slightly larger. So there's a couple of push pin marks there, but we've had this before. We've had these ugly marks, but these are actually positioned where they won't be seen, along with the screw holes. So I'm okay with that. Ejector pin marks, I believe they're called. Okay.
Okay. And then her H is the other window pane.
So again, the same as the other window, but as you can see, it's a little bit larger. And again, we've got these ejector pin marks, which the first time I saw these, I was very concerned, but I'm really not now because they tend to hide them quite well. So I'm very happy with that. And that should leave us with 4 parts, Horlicks.
Yes. So you should have some BP screws, 1.5 by 3 mil, and there should be 3 of those.
There are 3 BP screws, and I can actually count those. No estimating required.
Okay. Then you've got the OP screws, 1.7 by 5 mil, and there's 5.
Lovely. There are definitely 5 there.
Okay. NM screws, 1.5 by 3 mil, and there's 3 of those.
There are most definitely 3 there, and they are extremely small.
And then EM screws, 1.5 by 4 mil, and there's 5 of those.
Yeah. And these are all 4 of these are fairly, well, the OPs aren't quite. Actually, those OP screws, they feel very fat compared to the other 3 screws that I've got.
Okay.
So it's a comparison thing. You know, when you deal with something that's very thin and then you deal with something that's even thinner than that, the very thin then feels a little bit thick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a balloon that says important. Store your model away from direct sunlight to avoid damage to the windows.
Do you know what? I am so glad they told us that in issue 98 as opposed to issue 1. When they could have told us that.
Yeah.
You know, 97 weeks worth of sun damage, and then they go, oh, by the way, don't keep it in direct sunlight. I think we'd already mentioned that on. I think I can remember hearing Dave Sace mention it. And I think you've said it about other models, haven't you? Where people have, say, for example, put a bonnet on. By the time they've got to the back of it, back of the vehicle, the bonnet has faded in the sun. You've got this faded colour, and then the back is the original fresh colour. But that is what the sun does.
Yeah.
So, quick catch up. Steve-O, I've done my build the other way round. Bell on the platform, buzzer for under the stairs. Build it out, and you can just switch the plugs around. Yeah, never thought of that one. That's twice in 3 days where Adrian stated the obvious, but I just hadn't actually thought about it. Sorry, not state the obvious, but state something really simple. So Adrian's very good at that. Sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees, can you?
No.
And Adrian's will just go, well, why don't you do this? And Love Minis is tired of typing at the computer. She's keyboard. So... Right. So keep this out of direct sunlight as much as you possibly can, and you will not have a bad time.
Okay, so if you're ready, we'll start with step 1.
Yeah.
So fit the window pane 98H to the inside of the left wall framework 98A. Fix in place with 4 EM screws.
Lovely. So the first thing I'm noticing is, according to the instructions, we are looking for the inside. I can see from the picture that there's inside detail, and I can see that this is upside down because I'm looking for some kind of hole round about there. So if I just turn it around, there's the hole. So now I found, and also, but see, the thing is, these are all window shaped, aren't they? And we want piece H which, doing a comparison between G and H, I can see is the larger one. So there is the larger window. So I'm going to see if I can line up the screw holes. That looks fine with all the ejector pin marks covered by a frame. And I'll just do that a little flip to see if I can find a preferred way of doing it. It looks like it will go any way round. Would you agree with that, Horlicks?
Yeah.
No, I think that's a better way of doing it. Yeah, I don't think it makes any difference. So I think this is going to be another be careful issue. And I don't mind telling you I'm scared of these windows, but I don't think that's a bad way to be, is it?
No, it's better to be overcautious. And
so I'm going to just chuck these EMs over there. I can see there's 5 in the packet and I've got 4 out, which leaves us with 1. So that must be the end of the EMs after this. So get a little screwdriver bit. That feels like a good bit. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to pop the first one in, and I'm just putting that in ever so slightly. You see how much I've got sticking out?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go the opposite corner. I'm going to do my cardboard trick on this. So again, the next one's gone in, sticking out an awful lot. This is what I should have done with issue 86, and I don't think I would have cracked the window. So I'm going to check that the window is in properly. It's flat. Lovely. I'm happy with that. The screws are in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and push that right up against the screw. Then I can screw that screw down. When I'm getting close, I'll keep pulling the cardboard out. And when it's starting to grip the cardboard, I know that that screw is in as much as I'd like to go. So you can see there, it's not gripping it. Not quite there. Oh, not even nearly there. I just fear I'm going to go too much. Right, I don't like that. So even though the cardboard's not gripping, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to go on to the next screw. I'm a little bit worried it's going to lift this up. So I'm going to start on the next corner. I'll come back to that. So sorry, I know you can't see me on this one because it's directly overhead the camera. There we go. That one I'm quite happy with. So I've only screwed that in enough to grip the cardboard, which that then guarantees us a little tiny gap. Can you see it?
yeah.
So I'll now catch up with this one. There. So we're gripping the cardboard, but it's not fully in. We'll make our fine adjustments in a moment. So I think it's getting that first one in, because obviously how many times you need to turn to put that screw in fully depends on the length of the screw and the amount of, what do they call it, threads per inch. So if you've got very, very tight, spirally, thready bits around the shafty bit, I'm making words up as I go along.
Yes, very technical, Penny.
It is. I'm trying to sound more intelligent than I actually am. I don't know if it's working. Right, so this is the last screw going in. Can you see why I'll never do 5 builds in one stream? Right, so that's in. Oh, that's in too much. But that's fine. Right, so I've got all those screws in with a little bit of room to screw them in further. This is the point when I just give the windows a little bit of a test. And I just have a feel where I think they're a little bit loose. So I think from feeling it, this one could do with a quarter of a turn, probably an eighth. Let's give it a quarter of a turn. No, don't want to go that far. That's still a bit loose. So I'll give that a quarter and that one about an eighth. Remember, these work in with the other corners. Right. Still not quite happy with that. No, that doesn't seem to want to go in fully. This is going to be the last turn that I do because, yeah. Okay, there's a little slight movement in that corner, and I'm too scared to go in any further with this screw. Saying that, there is quite a lot. This is the first one that I did. Yeah, that's got it. So yeah, so each screw that I did, once I adjusted it, I just did little turns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know it took me a long time, but there's my finished result. Do you see any cracks?
No.
No.
So, therefore, I am happy with the way that I've just done it. Right, so are you happy with stage 1?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like to bring the parts for the next stage on until I'm ready, but I just want to put that away. So, do you want to read on Macduff?
Okay, so step 2 is to cut away the mouldings that we used in manufacture from the sliding window pane 98F and the window frame 98E. Smooth any rough edges.
Okay, so if you are confident with your trimmers, you can go straight in and cut it. These are very good trimmers, micro nippers, and I would be confident with these. If you were not confident, what I would suggest doing is that you cut long. And if you're not confident with that, you can always just score a line against them, because the force is quite lazy, not the force that you're going to apply. And then what will happen, because you've scored it, when you trim it, there we go, no damage at all, because you've made it weaker, and the crack, if it tries to crack, it will go along where you've made it weaker. So, but if you weren't confident, you could always cut that. You could use a hobby saw, but obviously I've used the nippers, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that a little file. Now, when you're filing, ignore what you can see. This is what you need to use as your thumb. I can feel a lump there. Give that a little file. Like so. Now that looks like I haven't finished it, has it? But my thumb tells me it's perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So same with this one. Look at that, perfect. Get that a little gentle rub. The thumb is deciding where you need to go next. And regardless of what it looks like, Use your thumb. That's perfect. Really happy with that. You can just see a little, what do you call that? A sprue nub?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Right. That's that done then.
Okay, so step 3 is to fit the sliding window pane 98F into the window frame 98E, so the ridges on the ends of the part 98F fit into the grooves in the frame 98E. A metal edge goes at the top.
Right. So, looking at the magazine, I can tell that's the correct way round. And the way I can tell is that you've got this rounded bit at the bottom, which means that the window, and also you've got the runners there. If you see where my fingernail is, hopefully you can see where I can only, when I rub it up and down, it stops there. So that must mean that this window is the wrong way round because you've got some runners there. So I'll turn that round. Remember, it says that the metal edge is at the top, and that therefore should go into there like so. And there's your window, stage 2.
Okay. So step 4 is to fit the window frame 98E with the sliding window pane 98F onto the outside of the left wall framework 98A. Fit the window pane 98G to the inside of the framework as shown, and then fix it in place from the inside of the window 98G with 4 OP screws.
Lovely. So are we aware of any problems with these screws? They're too long, they're too short, anything like that?
Mine were okay.
Lovely.
But all I did was go really careful, and what I found with mine is actually sometimes if you're screwing it in through the window, it was actually pushing the framework out.
Right.
So I was like Dave says as well, and everyone else, I had my finger on the other side of it, pushing force towards the screw while I was doing it up, so then I could feel if there's any movement.
Lovely. Right, so I've got this way round, and I can see that there's a hole there, and I'm guessing that the window goes this way. Yes, it does. I can see some little detail on the side there. So this window wants to come in there like so, or to do it from the other way round, which I would, whoa. In fact, actually, I'm going to take that window off, because one thing I want to make sure is that this does actually fit in properly, because as you know, we're going to have a bad time if it doesn't. I don't know if that's a good fit or not.
I had to file most of mine down.
I'm thinking a little bit off the top. Yes, I can see a little bit off the top. I don't know if you can see that. I think I just need to take that edge off. So I don't need to take an awful lot. So I apologize. I've got a sweet in my mouth. I just fancy something sweet in my mouth. So I'm sucking on a drumstick squashy.
Oh, I've had them.
They're all right, aren't they?
I didn't like them.
Okay, fair enough.
I love drumsticks.
They are a matter of oh. I think I'm happy with the top, but I'm not sure. I think I need a little bit off here as well. Yes. You can kind of feel where it needs to come off. And just take a little bit off, because to state the obvious, you can take it off, but you can't put it back on. And it seems that wherever I take a bit off, it seems to be not fitting somewhere else. Right, that is in with a really tight push. I don't know whether to take a bit more off or go with it.
think I went with mine. I mean, that was what you've got there is a much better fit than what I had. It wouldn't even go in.
Yeah.
So
I've got a little bit of a ledge along the top there, but this built-in metal bit, that's got a bit of a ledge. It's pretty flush here, and it's flush, fairly flush. I think this corner might be a problem. I think I want to take a little bit off there. That's what I'm feeling. Whoa. Ah. Yeah, I can see the problem now. There's a little bit of flash there. Let's get that level. Right. It's this corner there that's a bit of an issue. I want to identify how it's an issue. Actually, it's an issue depending on how you put the window in. If I put this bottom piece in first, it becomes an issue at the top. If you put the top in, it becomes an issue at the bottom. Right, that I think is okay. Are you okay, Mark? We haven't sent you to sleep yet, have we?
No, I'm fine.
Right, so that being a snug fit is actually quite helpful because that's going to hold that window in place. What's going on there? Has that rubbed all the plastic off? All the paint? Right. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a problem. I'm going to have to put this window in from underneath. There we go. There we go. So this is the opposite way to the way I had it a moment ago. Right, that's going in, but I've gotta push it. And that window isn't snug. So that is going to be running down, up and down by itself, which isn't a problem because I am going to have my windows up and down. So would you be happy with that, Horlicks?
yeah, most of mine ended up like that.
Right. So window goes in, got the hole at the top, so I've got the orientation correct. So this wants to go in like that. Check it as an alternative fit. Yeah, this only goes in one way, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you get it in the wrong way, what I'm calling the wrong way, that is actually dead level with the other window. So there is actually a gap between your windows, and if you can see that gap. But if you put this in this way, you've now got a good overlap. And that,
Yeah.
I would say that's correct. I do like testing these the wrong way. So let's do this window exactly the same way as I did the last one, which is pop that in just enough, a little bit more than that, just enough to grab, which that isn't grabbing. So I might have to put it in further. And tell you what, shall we use the correct screwdriver bit? That one doesn't seem to be wanting to grip. That's a lot better. Right. So that's in. And I'll put the opposite corner in. And this is the one that you're probably not going to see because I'm probably going to block the camera with my screwdriver. Oh no, I've done that one okay. So holding the corner of the window down, because if you don't, you'll be begging Alex Demetrius to send you another window pane. So I can't see that screw hole. Is there a screw hole there?
It should be.
There should be, but is there?
I can see it.
No, but can you see it all the way down? Oh, well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? I'm not convinced that hole is lined up with the hole in the framework. Okay, I was wrong, but in this case, it was good to be wrong. Right, so all 4 screws are in just enough to bite, and I'm just checking that that window is laying flat where it should lay. So with my cardboard, I still don't think that's the right screw. I think we want a wider one and then turning fairly slowly. No, that is too wide actually. Don't you hate it when you think you've not got the right one and you go bigger and it turns out you have got the right one? That one's not going. So I wonder if these screws are too long. Saying that, this one's gone in okay. So I just seem to haven't struggled with that particular screw. Right. So I'll go back to it. There we go. That one probably went a little bit quick for good measure there, but I got away with it. Whoops. Right, there's no movement. Oh, hang on, there's a little bit there. No, my mistake. So there's no movement in the window, so I'm happy with that. Does that look good to you, Horlicks?
Yeah, well, it's good.
Yeah. So we've got no one chatting. Has something happened? Have we still got the ability to chat?
Yeah, I was wondering that. There hasn't been any chat at all. I don't know if it's... We'll see what happens in a moment because I've just made a comment on the... Anyway, so stage 5, are you happy to proceed? Yes, so stage 5, you need to fix the upper part of the window frame 98E to the framework 98A from the inside with 2 BP screws. Oh yeah, comments coming through.
Okay, that's Owen Geordie Dave. I'm confused here. Where's the upper part coming from?
So you need to turn that piece over, and then the 2 screw holes at the top. Yeah.
So what we? Oh, we're screwing the frame to the framework.
Yeah, we need to put 2 screws.
No, fine, then. Yeah, I thought we were screwing another window in, and I'm like, but I've run out of windows.
It's strange, isn't it? Because normally I've noticed on some of the other issues, we put those screws in first before doing the first step we did. And this one, they've just reversed it a bit.
So this must be the one where you've said about holding the back of the frame.
Well, all of them, really. But
tell you what, though, this little, I'll call it a cloth. For having this little cloth down, I know a certain P40 F20 does complain to us a lot about having something on the table to prevent scratching. But I actually like this. It means you can push a little bit harder and it won't get damaged because this carpety bit is taking some of the blow. Right, there's one screw in. Now this screw I'm struggling with. I think that screw hole is not quite right. And I wonder if I filed in the wrong areas. I should have filed so that this came down a bit more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See what happens. But of course, that framework is a painted acrylic, isn't it? It's a very hard, brittle plastic. So it will matter if we crack it. I'm just going to run a knife in there because again it could just be the paint. I mean, I have the ability to re-drill that, but I don't really want to do that. Sometimes magnetic screwdriver doesn't seem to be enough, does it? I am struggling with this screwdriver today. I'm sure it's human error. There we go. We're in. It was human error. If the human had put the correct screwdriver bit in, it wouldn't have had problems. So I'm holding the back of the frame and I'm just turning until the resistance increases. And that should tell us when it's in enough. You guys see this okay?
Yeah.
So spin, 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 spin. Oh, it's getting tougher. Let's stop. Then we can check. That was a close call, wasn't it? I could quite easily have cracked the window there. I think that's okay now.
Oh, was that? Oh no, it's just the. I thought that was a crack then, but it's not. It's the.
Oh, that's tightened my top window up. So those screws that just went in at the top, that's tightened the top window.
Right.
That's made me extremely happy. Do you know what? I'm so happy. I think I'm going to have another drumstick squashy. There we go. I'm really happy with that. Rather pleased. So, are you happy with that stage?
Yeah, all good.
Brilliant. So I believe we have just one more thing to do then. One more stage.
Okay, so step 6 is to identify the fixing points for the handle 98B on the frame 98A adjacent to the sliding window. Note that a peg on the handle fits into the socket on the frame 98A. Make sure it is in the right way round and fix it in place with 2 NM screws.
I wish they would use the word correct. Make sure it's the correct way round. Because when they say right way round, do they mean left or right, or right or wrong, right? Okay, so that is extremely helpful. Oh my God, my camera's just gone.
No, well, I can see you.
No, but look what happens when I move. I'm waving at the moment. I had this happen to me this afternoon. Right, guys, I have got absolutely no choice. I done a reboot just before the Right, I'm really sorry, guys, but the only way I'm going to fix this is with a reboot. So I'm going to have to disappear for about 2 minutes while I reboot the computer. As you can see, there's a problem with my camera or my software or the computer or something. So Can you hold the fort for me, Horlicks, please?
Yeah.
Computer.
And I will
As you can
see
see,
you
there's
shortly.
a problem with my camera, or my software, or the computer.
Oh, okay. So,
It wouldn't be Routemaster without technical difficulties, would it?
no, it's strange, isn't it? I don't know why it's
Yeah.
suddenly doing that for her.
I don't know.
So, yeah, Stuart Sullivan's enjoying the Bills. I don't really know what to talk about now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got obviously when I did those, and do you know what? I didn't even really check the windows on mine to see if they had tightened them up or not.
Some of mine are a little bit loose, but end of the day, it shows it in motion, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
So, but I had no problem with my frames fitting in; they were fine.
Yeah.
So
that's fine. Yeah, one of mine bowed out, so I had to unscrew it, put it back in, and make sure I was holding it firmly when it went in. And then the other one, I actually had one frame, and the BP screw actually was just spinning in the hole.
Screw.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Did you miss me?
Oh, you're back?
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened. That's twice in one day that's happened. So I might have to look into that. So, but I did a reboot before the stream, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's a bit strange.
Maybe I need a good clean out on the computer.
Maybe you've picked up. Maybe it's to do with those pop-ups. Maybe you've picked up some sort of virus.
Could do. I suppose I'd better run an antivirus, and I think I've got an antivirus. Anyway, so what I was going to say before my computer my camera very rudely froze on me was that picture is extremely useful because I can see this little bit here, and I can see the holes there, so I know it's the correct way round, as opposed to it being that way round, because there's no gap underneath the hole. So I know it's definitely that way, and that means that handle has to go in that way round, because the handle is on the outside of the bus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we will do is, checking our screwdriver head beforehand, we will place in. I'm not even going to try with that screwdriver, because I can tell straight away that that's going to be too fat. So I'm going to use my cheap and nasty Wilco screwdriver. I think these screwdrivers were even cheaper than the Routemaster screwdriver that we got for free.
I bought a set of those Wilco ones, and I thought they were all right.
They're all right. They, I would say they are worth what you pay for them. They are a cheap screwdriver set, but they do enough. If you buy a more expensive screwdriver set, they will be better. But I would say proportionally, penny for penny, they're not bad screwdrivers. Right. So I've screwed that in just enough so that it's not moving, and I am happy with that piece. So there you go. So I believe the next stage is the catwalk stage, isn't it?
Yeah, so we should have a non-opening window and a sliding window have been fitted to the section of the left lower deck framework, and that's the image, and that looks good to me.
Lovely. And there is my catwalk pose. There's the window. The window moves. after a fashion. So what I'll do is once I've got a lot more windows in, I will pose that so it's a little bit different from the other windows. All the windows that don't hold up by themselves will be fully down. There'll be at least one window that's fully up, and I'll try and position them so, you know, even if it's just like that. In fact, I might even keep this one at an angle, because that window windy thing, that did have a little bit of play on it, didn't it? So maybe I can have one window wonky.
Yeah.
Wonky window. Okay, I've got to stop singing because it never ends well when I sing, does it?
No.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Horlicks.
Well.
So I am going to place this. Ooh, not quite. So doesn't quite fit in the holder because of the handle. So what I'm going to do, mark that with a Sharpie pen, get my knife, whoops, which seems to collapse under its own weight. Whoa. Oh gosh, this knife doesn't seem to want to work for this job. If only someone could do a product review on a better knife for me. Right, do not copy me, guys, because you know one slip and that's gone through my finger. Right, there we go. So just cut a little notch out of there and hopefully, there we go. So that'll fit in there. And if you bother to keep the lid, which I have, it's not quite. Oh, yes, it will. It's because I've got the bar. So this bar and the winder I've put in there because that's the issue it came with. And
are you doing that bit next, or
what bit?
Step 7.
You know, I thought that was the end of this build. Well, when they give you the catwalk stage, you think, oh, and that's the end of the build. I'm so sorry, guys. I really am sorry. So, Horlicks, would you like to do stage 7?
Yeah, okay. So
I really like the swing of this yet, didn't I?
fit the window winder 98D to the bar 98C. This is a push fit connection. And if it's anything like any of mine, they weren't. But Dave, they were good for him.
Yeah, right. I'm going to elect not to do this stage because, as you can see, I've got all my window winders in my spare drawer, which this one hasn't been painted yet, but it has been labelled Routemaster. So I'm just going to pop it into there. In fact, I'm not going to pop it in. I'm going to keep it with this one. And I will fit that when I fit that side. I will probably still glue it in as well. We'll see how the fit goes. But it's not going to fall off there, is it, in the meantime, if I don't actually fit it in the first place?
No, I suppose not. I glued all mine in straight away, but yeah, whatever works for you.
So I will push fit or glue when I come to put that side on. Sorry, you have to forgive me. I've got 2 different Partworks in here because I'm in the process of painting these drawers up. I've got as far as the varnish and it stinks. I think I need to sand that because that's discoloured it. So hopefully this time next week I will have a proper fully painted up drawer with its name on the front, blue on the outside and purple on the inside. And I'm going to show you this because I like, you know me, I like showing off. So this is one of my little drawers that I've done, and This is a piece of the felt. I'm calling this a P40 inside because, as you can see, it's got a nice little lining so that P40 F20 doesn't complain to me about scratching my parts.
Yeah, brilliant.
You sounded so sincere then, there, Horlicks. Right, so
Okay,
step is installing that bar.
Yeah, so
But
if you were doing this, you would take the upper and lower deck assembly from the previous issue, handle with care to prevent the top deck from slipping, and then you'd fit the bar 98C to the front left window on the lower deck on part 49A with the winder inside the model. This part will be secured at a later stage.
Yeah, and I would feel more comfortable. I will do that once this bit actually gets screwed into the side of the bus. Then I will put that winder in, and that will make me feel more comfortable. So, having got rid of a few little parts, we've now collecting more parts.
Yes,
because we've got the bus. We've got two upstairs side bits which should have been fitted but haven't been fitted because it's best not to fit them. We've got the upstairs deck. We've got the upstairs deck roof. Now we've got this piece. But I do know, that we are going to attach something to this next week.
Yeah. So next week it'll be, we're going to be. The left wall framework is assembled and attached to the lower deck.
Fantastic. So, right. Next week, I'm going to try and take advantage of this COVID situation that we're in. I have nothing written in stone, but if furlough is going to last until March, I think that means I'm going to be at my current job until March. So I've calculated that this issue has got me all straight with all the bits and bobs we've done. We're all nice and straight. I'm going to aim to be doing 2 issues a week, and then that will get the bus finished by the end of March. Now, I know I always say don't rush, take your time. But I think it's going to be quite important to get this. If the furlough scheme finishes at the end of, or beginning or the end of March, then I'm no longer needed at my current position, and then I go on to a different job, and then they say no, you cannot have Wednesday nights off. I then might have to finish the Routemaster build again, which is going to cause a problem. So it's a very slight rush, but it's for a good reason.
So in regards to all your parts left then, Penny, for the bus, we've got, it's really good. Issue 103 is a mammoth build on its own.
Right.
But it ties up all of the loose parts, apart from one piece.
Yes.
My favourite.
Which obviously that would go in with 103 and 104. Now, I've got a little bit of a trick I've just done. First of all, if we can only get 103 done in 1 week and we can't do 104, that's not a problem, because we've got one issue where we've got a conductor and we've got another issue where we've got a bus driver. So what we can then do is when we hit those issues, we can then do 3 issues, because one of them is look here's a figure, issue done. So we will got the opportunity to catch up. Also, that by doing 2 issues a week, that should finish the build by end of February, beginning of March, and furlough may not actually finish until the end of March. So hopefully I should be fit. So I've got the ability to go, right, we can't do 2 issues because of the amount of time. So let's only do the 1 issue. I want to, wherever possible, not start an issue if we're not going to have the time to finish it. But issue 103 is going to be at the beginning of the stream, not at the end. So I think it'll work out better. So I've looked at next week, 99 and 100, and I think we've got one biggish issue and one smallish issue.
I mean, based on where you're at, I think, and what with you not putting the window bars in, etc.
Yeah,
I think 103 maybe
too much
for one issue. Even you might even have to do it in two.
Right.
Based on how much you've got to do, like preparing after that, because then we'll have to go back. You'll have to put all your sides on. You'll have to do issue 103, plus put all your sides on. Actually, you have to do a part of issue 103, then go back to 98 or 97, 96, put all your frames on, glue your window bars on, then button up everything else before going back to 103 again.
Right.
To finish off that issue.
When we come to do issue 103, should we perhaps consider bringing the broadcast time forward by half an hour? Bring on maybe a couple of guests who can then help us fill those times when there's nothing to be said.
Yeah.
That will give us 2.5 / 3 hours worth of streaming time before it starts to get seriously late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Because obviously sometimes you can't get on the stream till 5 to 8, can you?
No, I'm always here on time normally.
Yeah, I know. You keep throwing that one back at me, don't you? Because it turns out I was in the wrong place, not you.
No, yeah. I mean, that's up to you. If that's doable for you, it's probably better to, because there is a lot to do. And
well, it's perfectly doable for me because I've got all Wednesday off. So I mean, I could start at 10 in the morning if I wanted to, and then Thursday, even if I'm working, I'm on late. So the absolute earliest I'll be in work is about 2 in the afternoon. So it doesn't matter. I mean, I could stream from 7:30 till 1 in the morning. It'll probably still kill me in the next day, but it's certainly doable. But what I'm thinking about is these guys who are watching you. Could you put up with me for 3.5 hours? And Mark, you've been extremely quiet today.
I'm just fascinated. Didn't want to disturb the flow between you and Horlicks.
Fine, it's become part of the flow, Mark.
Yeah.
So, right, Mark, let's get you talking, shall we?
Go on.
So it's just you've been sat there extremely patient. I would say guest of the year, top guest there, hasn't disturbed us. Eye candy, there we go. He's just there to look at, not actually to talk. But no, I just feel bad when we bring a guest in and we don't. Obviously, me and Horlicks tend to do the build. You've jumped in a couple of times at appropriate places to make a comment, which has been fantastic. But on the whole, we've kind of neglected you a bit.
No, it's fine. Like I said, you and Horlicks work like a flow, basically. And somebody else coming in is going to break that flow. So that's why
not break it, but maybe cause a bit of a counterwave. But
yeah.
So Stuart Sullivan has said, I had a few problems with the framework requiring filing, but they fitted eventually. I think mine just needed minor adjustments there. I don't think I was spending an awful lot of time filing. And by keep pressing them in, you can kind of work out where they need filing. And then P40F20 says, a little bit of everything tonight. Nice work, Penny. Thank you very much. When P40, when anyone says well done, it means a lot to me. But I know P40 is the kind of person that he'll tell you if you've done something wrong. So when he says, well, that nice work, you know it is nice work. So that means an awful lot to me. So what's coming up on your channel, Mark? Anything exciting?
Well, tomorrow I'm live with my Routemaster at 8 o'clock. I think I'm doing issues 107 and 108 because there's not a lot to do in them.
Nice. Sorry, go on.
I don't think I'll have a DeLorean video this Friday because I haven't received anything else yet.
Right.
And then I'm trying to crack on with Train Track.
Nice, because we haven't seen a lot of that lately, have we? So this is the problem. Sorry, I've just had a message come through. I forgot to pay a parking fine. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got a parking. Right, my vehicle. I'm not going to say the word car. I'm trying to I said car an awful lot of times today, haven't I? We played this little game on the afternoon stream where we picked pre-stream. We picked a word for the other person to say, and you have to say it once in the first half an hour and once in the second half an hour, but you have to the audience has to guess what the word is. And it got quite amusing because my word was car, but everyone was chucking all these guesses and no one got it, and in the end I had to make it so obvious for everybody. But yeah, so anyway, where I park my vehicle, my car, is Permit Park, and I got caught out about 3 weeks ago, and I ended up with a parking ticket. And the trouble is, when I bought my car, I bought it off a friend, and the V5 hasn't come through, so it's still registered at his house. So if I don't pay the parking ticket, the reminder goes to him. He then takes a photo of it and sends it to me on Facebook, saying, "Oh, I've just had this come through." I'm like, "Right, I'll get it sorted." So yeah, it's quite amusing. He's not happy, but he's happy when I paid it. So right, yeah. So more Routemaster, more. Now I believe Horlicks, you are starting a new build. Have I got that wrong? Are you allowed to say anything? Am I allowed to say anything?
I might be. You'll have to wait and see.
Oh, it's a secret, is it?
Yeah. Well, not a secret, but there will be a video coming up any day. I'm just working on it now.
No, that's brilliant. So I just knew you were buying something, but officially I didn't know what you were buying. Yeah, apart from the McDonald's you had earlier.
Yeah.
So have you got anything in the pipeline, Mark, that we don't know about?
No, the DeLorean was the latest one. So,
yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for my next set of 4 issues.
Right. Will you get 4 issues, or will you get 2 for the first?
I've got the first 2, so I've got issue 1 and issue 2.
Right.
But I'm waiting now for 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Right. So what are you expecting from it?
Well, I grew up with the movies, so I just love that car. I always have done. Right. I had a model at one point of it.
Isn't it interesting that it's, in reality, the DeLorean is an awful car. There's so much wrong with it. But because it featured in Back to the Future, it's like the car everybody wants to have.
Mm.
Yeah.
Also, obviously the Back to the Future car is the most modded Partwork out there as well.
God. Yeah, no, that is one Partwork. You can spend more on mods than you can.
Yeah.
And the price of the issues, that's saying something.
So I'm looking forward to, I don't normally mod my Partworks, but I'm looking forward to modding this car.
Right. So are you going to go for all of the mods, or
just the ones that I think will make it look better?
Right.
That are going to show it off more.
Right.
So I'm not going to go buy like the hoverboard and stuff like that. I just want to make the car look nice.
Yeah. See, I one thing that we brought up quite a bit before is obviously once we finish the build, we will play with it quite a lot, won't we? For a week or two. Then it will all get switched off and it'll probably sit on the shelf not doing anything, just looking really good. And then it'll probably get turned on every now and again. So is it worth going out and spending £300-500 on mods that require power?
Yeah, good point. But there's a couple of things on it that are really shockingly bad. The flux capacitor being one of them.
Right, so it's worth you buying a power up mod just for the appearance of it even switched off. Okay, fair comment.
But it's everybody's personal preference.
Well, no, I mean, obviously, if you're going to have if I owned a shop that sold models, then if I built a DeLorean, I would put it in a shop window with a sign not for sale, but I would be switching on every single day to try and get people to walk into my shop. Yeah. So all those mods would probably be money makers for me.
Yeah.
Because the more the car lights up, the more people are going to walk in the shop. Oh, that's in the window, but that's not for sale. But let's go and see what is for sale. But me in my bedroom, I mean, like you with your Millennium Falcon, when's the last time you turned that one on?
About 2 years ago, maybe.
So is it fair to say that in the Millennium's case, the Falcon's case, then it probably wouldn't be worth it?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but the thing with the Millennium Falcon is there's that many sprue parts on it. I'm frightened of touching it in case the super glue has worn down now and bits start coming off.
Should be all right. Should be all right. But yeah. So basically what you're saying is with the mods, you really do have to decide if it's going to work for you.
Yes.
So just because you've decided to get a particular mod and I chose to not pick up that mod, that doesn't make you or me right or wrong.
Yeah.
It just makes us right. So, right. Okay. Fair comment.
I mean, there's a mod out there for dressing the tyres. Okay. What's to stop me going to the pound shop, say, and picking up a spray can of tyre dresser from the pound shop?
Yeah. And
doing it myself.
Yeah. Oh, no. This is it. You've got to, I mean, there was a mod for the Ecto 1. And it's about 25 by something to do with the carpets. And I got 25 quid when I can buy a sheet of this for £2.50. Now, there might be a lot of people out there that would just be too scared to have a go. And if they want that mod, they're going to have to spend £25. And that's the way it is. There are people who can, there are people who can't, and there are people that won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some mods for Partworks is a no-brainer. You need to do them. A bit like the wobble fix on the Terminator.
Yes.
That
the price you pay. Yeah. But again, that's another mod you could do yourself if you've got the knowledge. But using a program like, I can't remember what it's called anymore because it's been so long since I used it.
Cura?
No, not Cura. The one where you make the parts.
Oh, yeah, Tinkercad.
Tinkercad, that's it. So if you know how to use Tinkercad, which does, even if you can pick things up quickly, still requires a few hours of knowledge. But you could make the parts. But you got to remember, to make a £6 part, you've got to have the 3D printer. You've got to spend the time learning Tinkercad. Then you've got to print the part off. If you don't own the 3D printer, that £6 part is going to cost you 200 quid. And then you've got the 3D printer to make other parts. Yeah. So, and, you know, it's something that I could have done I won't, because Partwork Upgraders got in there first, and I don't want to tread on their toes on that one. But if I ever see another mod like that, I would probably jump on that one.
Yeah.
Because that's. But then he's got the backing of. He's got an established company going. But yeah, I personally think for the price that you pay for that mod, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Other people might think it isn't. You know, other people might go, "Oh, £6, I'm not paying that." It's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's their choice. So, right. So, is there anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. Just go through the schedule, I suppose, and
David Bass has said, "Is it a legitimate parking fine?" Yeah, it is a legitimate parking fine. It's called I couldn't be bothered to move my car off permit parking only. For where I park my car, for 1 hour a day, it's permit parking from 11 till 12. So everyone parks their car at 11 o'clock. They move their car onto the 1 hour parking, and then 12 o'clock they move it back. And one particular day, I just really couldn't be bothered to move my car. The traffic wardens don't come every day, and it was pouring down with rain. I couldn't be bothered, and I thought they probably won't be here today anyway. The next day, when I went to my car, there was a parking ticket attached to the front of it. So I took the gamble on that one, and I lost on that day, and I won on other days. So it's just the way it is. You play the game, you win, you lose. So tomorrow we have Mark. I'm reading exactly as the spreadsheet says. So if I get it wrong, you can blame the channel owners, whoever they are. So 12th of November, Thursday, Mark's Mods, Routemaster issue 107. That will be at 8 o'clock on Mark's Mods channel. Friday the 13th is Horlicks Day. He's doing Terminator 51, issue 51 at 8 o'clock on his channel. And on Saturday the 14th, we've got Horlicks again doing, it just said Routemaster. Is that another one of your, I'll see how many issues we can get done session?
no, I thought I edited that to say 104.
Okay, so Routemaster 104. Is it just going to be 104, or is it going to be as many issues as you can do?
I think so. It depends how it goes, but probably maybe 105. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, and on Sunday we have Build with Adrian, who is actually in the spreadsheet at the moment, but he hasn't put what he's doing. So too late now. Adrian is streaming at 8 o'clock on his channel doing something. Monday is Chris Campbelling. He'll be doing Terminator issue 83 and 84, and that was confirmed by Chris today for me. That takes us to Tuesday, which is Build with Adrian. Now he will be streaming slightly earlier than the rest of us, so he'll be streaming at 7:30. He'll be doing Terminator 85 and 86, and then that takes us to next Wednesday, when we have myself and Yorkshire Crafter doing the Paint with Diamond show at 2 o'clock, followed by the Routemasters show at 8 o'clock, when we will be doing, I'm just going to update that now. What are we doing next week? 99 and 100?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, why has that gone grey? That's strange. Oh well. What? Sorry, this spreadsheet's gone mad. Adrian, what have you done to the spreadsheet? Right. So yeah, that's the next week we're going to aim to do 99 and 100. Obviously, if 99 got too much, so we don't have time to do 100, then that's fine. We're only making aims, but I didn't want to put timetables on this, but I think that with COVID, let's try and make some advantage out of this. And then I know that I should be able to stream weekly until, at the very least, until this lockdown's over or this furlough is over. So, anything else to add, either of you two?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
As you can see, the cat is showing off its private parts at the moment. Not quite aimed at the camera, but he's I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight. I really don't know. I think I might have to, because this house is sort of Airbnb. I might actually have to pay and book another room just to get a night's sleep from the cat.
Can you not bribe the cat off the bed with a bit of food?
Not really. Not without. See, the trouble is I avoid feeding the cat, because once you feed the cat, it then hassles you every day. It sees you as feeder.
Mm.
So he never hassles me for food because I never feed him. But I've seen what made us laugh was he hassles his mum constantly, to the point that she gets quite upset. She went on holiday recently and her boy was feeding him, and he used to be like, "Oh, well, why do you get upset at the cat? You know, oh, poor old cat." Well, when she went on holiday, he took over feeding the cat wet food. By about 2 or 3 days in, he's like, "Why? Don't hassle me. You're far too..." He's doing exactly the same as his mum was. He's getting really frustrated because his cat's following him around for about 3 hours, meowing. And he's like, "It's not time yet." So, yeah, it's quite funny. So I don't feed him, because if I feed him, there he goes, he's getting himself... Shame I can't do a bit of a zoom in on that camera, isn't it? So, but he's lovely. He's all right. When he's friendly, he's all right. In fact, I'll test the water with him now. Scooby, how are you? There you go. Only ever touch him once, though. Touch him twice, you're taking your life into your own hands. Right, so P40F20 says great show tonight. So unless you guys have got anything to add, I'm going to start saying the goodbyes. Okay. So who should we say first? Let's dump Mark first, shall we?
Okay, so thanks for having me on tonight, Penny and Horlicks. It's been a privilege. Fantastic to see you two in the flow that you have when you're building. So yeah. It's a goodbye from me.
The big question is, will you come back again if we invite you?
Oh, definitely.
Perfect. Horlicks, or back of Horlicks's head?
Yeah. No, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and see you on the next build.
Fantastic. So, guys, thank you for watching. Didn't quite go to plan, but it did go, so that was fine. I want that to be nice, but we got there. So we've now tied everything up. We can now start going forwards. So I hope you will join me in continuing this journey next week. So yeah, perfect. I will catch you all later. Take care. Bye.